CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow and thrive. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Lucky for us all, it's that time of year again to hitch up the wagon and head north. Now, before you go getting too far on your journey, don't forget to fuel up that inner grizzly at the Lumberjack Restaurant. From nachos, pork to dangerously creamy mac and cheese. Your gut will thank you for making the detour. So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch, exit 212 I-75, where hunger goes to die.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News. It's 77 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. Rite Aid is extending COVID-19 vaccinating hours at over 200 stores every Friday for the rest of June, including several stores in the Great Lakes Bay region. They're calling it the Night Shots Initiative in support of the White Action's goal of getting 70% of U.S. adults at least one shot by July 4th. Today and again on Friday, June 18th and 25th, participating Rite Aid stores will extend vaccinating hours until midnight to help ensure everyone, especially individuals with less flexible work hours, can get vaccinated. All vaccines during the extended hours are available for walk-ins. The full list of participating locations can be found on the Rite Aid website. Two bills have been introduced with an aim at limiting local restrictions on short-term rental properties, and Frankenmuth city officials aren't happy. WSGW's Rick Antonio has more.
Frankenmuth City Manager Bridget Smith says the bill could hurt established lodging and hotels in the city, which takes in much of its money through tourism. She says Frankenmuth updated its short-term rental policy a few years ago with restrictions in place for under the legislation, short-term rentals would be considered a residential use and exempt from special use or conditional use permitting. She adds the idea that the residential neighborhoods being turned into hundreds of tiny hotels frightens her, and that it could affect neighbors who have lifetime investments into their homes. State Senator Ken Horn of Frankenmuth is looking to reintroduce a bill he proposed last year combating the one-size-fits-all approach that he says may not be the best way to legislate the issue. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
The Canada Border Services Agency reminds foreign national boaters and anglers that travel restrictions are still in place. Unless exempt, foreign nationals, including United States citizens, cannot enter Canadian waters for any non-essential reasons, including crossing via boat to a cottage or summer home in Canada, pleasure or competitive fishing, fishing tours, or sightseeing. These restrictions include any movements in Canadian waters for discretionary purposes, even if boaters are not coming to. At this time, these restrictions apply regardless of the vaccination status of boaters. Foreign national boaters found to be in Canadian waters for discretionary purposes may face severe penalties, including maximum penalties up to $750,000 and or imprisonment for 6 months. WSGW News Time, 9:06.
Oh, wow.
Thanks. We did new countertops and a new sink and faucet.
Oh, it looks great. Did you do all the work yourself?
Oh, no. We worked with the remodeling department at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. They helped us select the right choice for us from their wide selection of countertop material, and we love it. We shopped around, too. Reamer had the best selection and the best pricing.
So, what's your next project?
Well, since we love our new kitchen, we plan to do the bathroom next.
Oh, wow.
This time, we'll go straight to Reamer. You should see all the new things they have for the bathroom.
Visit the showroom at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to see countertop displays of Cambria quartz and Corian, kitchen sinks, quartz, Swanstone, and cast iron, plus a large display of kitchen faucets from several manufacturers. One is perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Shop local. Shop Reamer. Go to reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
WSGW News Time 9:07. State police troopers from the West Branch Post arrested a man in April who was recently arraigned on child pornography charges. Conducting a traffic stop in Ogemaw County April 28th, police pulled over 55-year-old William Hook of West Branch. Police say they saw an image of a nude woman on a cell phone affixed to the dashboard. He swiped the image and allegedly exposed an image of child sexually abusive material. He's charged with possessing child sexually abusive material, aggravated possession of child sexually abusive material, and using a computer to commit a crime. Police encourage parents to speak to their children about the safe use of the internet. There are many resources available to parents to assist in keeping children safe online. If anyone suspects child sexual exploitation, report it to missingkids.org/cybertipline. One of legendary University of Michigan football coach Bo Schembechler's sons describing in detail yesterday how he was molested by the and how Schembechler allegedly turned a blind eye when told about it. More from MNN's John Hewitt.
Calling the alleged abuse at the hands of former football Dr. Robert Anderson the worst kept secret at the University of Michigan. Matt Schembechler says he was first assaulted by the doctor during a physical back in 1969 at the age of 10. He says he told his father, legendary Wolverines football coach Bo Schembechler, what? And that Bo went into a rage, screaming, quote, "I don't want to hear this." Matt Schembechler says at that moment his relationship with his father changed forever, as Dr. Anderson went on to allegedly abuse hundreds of others for over 30 years.
Anderson was able to continue this abuse for so long because he was supported by a culture that placed the reputation of the university above the health and safety of the students. That is the culture that made my father a legend and placed his statue in front of Schembechler Hall.
When asked what he thought his father might say about these allegations if he were alive today, as he doesn't care, adding he doesn't hate Bo, but he also doesn't like him.
The Detroit Police Department is unveiling the details of its summer crowd control plan. Interim Police Chief James White says the overall goal is to lower the party atmosphere late night in the city.
We understand. We get it. We've all been shuttered in place. We're coming out of COVID. We're reemerging. We understand. But we have to do so responsibly. We cannot have this party of homes and neighborhoods, neighborhood parks to 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, loud music, fights, people bringing guns to what should be peaceful event.
Mayor Mike Duggan has authorized 4,000 hours of overtime and 2,000 hours for drag racing, specifically every weekend, so crowd control measures won't interfere with 911 calls for service or community patrols. If you ever wanted to check out one of Michigan's state parks, this is a weekend to do it. It's a 3-free weekend where state park is free.
You can also ride an off-the-road vehicle on our designated trails without having to have a trail permit.
That's State DNR head of Parks and Recreation, Ron Olson, who says the state has 103 state parks. You may get more time to renew your driver's license and vehicle registration during the pandemic. The Michigan Senate has voted for it and sent the bill on to the House. The Senate also voted to pressure Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to restore the ability to visit offices without an appointment. Benson has added 350,000 appointments to the system and says people can walk up to see if there's an open appointment for a future appointment. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9/11. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny for today. Highs will get close to 90 degrees. Winds northeast around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, cleared to partly cloudy skies and light winds. Lows drop to 63. Saturday, partly sunny. Chance for scattered showers developing. Storms also possible during the afternoon. Highs will make it into the middle 80s. Winds north-northeast around 5 miles per hour. Saturday and storms. Lows fall back to 62. Winds turn to the north-northwest around 5 miles per hour. And then Sunday, sunny and highs reach 85. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Right now it's 78.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for a Friday morning, gateway to a beautiful weekend and Father's Day and all that good stuff. We hope you enjoy it. It's an open phone edition today, purely open line Friday from now until 11 o'clock. So whatever's on your mind, as I am fond of saying, sometimes the first person in sets the tone for the whole show. And it's the most fun a talk show host can have, not knowing where the conversation is going to go. So you can give us a call, 752-6111 from Saginaw Bay City. If you are inside the state of Michigan, 866-790-WSGW. If you're outside the state of Michigan, 989-752-6111. Number of topics to talk about: inflation. Apparently, there is an agreement on infrastructure among some senators, bipartisan, word we don't get to use very often. There's a lot going on we could talk about this morning. But again, I'd always like to hear what's on your mind. I want to report this morning that I did something I haven't done in over a year. Went to a face-to-face, in-person meeting. Yep. It was a large group, too. It's a large group of folks that meet usually once a month. We've been doing it by Zoom. Well, we decided it was time, and they announced that it would be an in-person, and we called it it was just a gathering this morning to get back into the notion of seeing somebody face to face. And you know, as strange as this may sound, after a year, I found myself saying, what happened? Because it was so normal to be in that room with a whole group of people that I know and to mingle and discuss and talk as we did. It was like we didn't skip a beat. Now, I know we haven't gotten together for over a year. It's been Zoom meetings for over a year. Yet standing in that room with all of these folks was like, okay, what happened? Well, this is normal. Here we are. Back again. And it made me think, because we've talked about what's the new normal going to be? What's life after pandemic? And this kind of convinced me that it's going to take a little time, but maybe after 6 months, a year, we will have forgotten about the pandemic. I think life is going to be back to pretty much normal. There's going to be some exceptions. There are going to be some folks like me working at home for a while. There may be hybrid work situations where you're at home and you're in the office. I think there's going to be a cautious return to normal. How's that? But it was fun just getting out and being amongst the crowd again, so to speak. All right, Troy is in Saginaw, so he's going to be up first with us this morning. Troy, good morning to you.
You doing?
All right.
I work out at SVSU. I saw your friend Dr. Gilbertson yesterday walking.
I saw him this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
When it comes to the cicadas, we actually have cicada killers that harbor at the university, and they dig holes underneath the sidewalks, and then wherever it's sandy, and then there are large wasps, male and female. Only one stings you, and they grab the cicadas and take them down in the hole.
Wow, I didn't know we had any cicadas around here.
That's maybe why.
Well, at least where you are. But yeah. We're on the.
It scares the students because they hover around the ground about 2 to 3 feet.
Yeah, ground bees or ground wasps.
Well, they're a lot larger.
Yeah, oh, really?
2 inches long.
Yeah. Whoa!
So
that's a big bug.
3 inches long, and yes, it is. So they kind of like take care of ours. So that's why we don't have any of them.
Yeah, we're on the real northwestern fringe of the cicadas up here. We don't have too many. We're lucky. But I'll tell you what.
We'll see. If they come back, and then, yeah.
Yeah, you'll know. But we of course, they're out now. I mean, this is the time. You go to Washington, D.C., or you travel around the you travel around the east central area of the United States, you don't have to see them. You'll hear them.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yep.
Yep.
It's amazing.
One quick other thing.
Yeah.
When you talk to Ken Buck from Ken Buck Insurance,
Which I will be doing.
I'd like to know the liability on if somebody has a dead tree in their yard, in a yard, or your vehicle, or in the street, are they liable for it?
In other words, they have a dead tree on their property. Your vehicle's on your property. And what happens? That tree falls?
Yes. And if
Okay.
it falls on your vehicle, who's liable?
Good question. I'll make a note of that, and I'll ask. I can tell you, matter of fact, I can probably, if you hang on a second, I can tell you exactly when Ken is going to be on, I think.
Okay.
If I can get my calendar to work right, let me see. I think it's going to be next week. And come on, calendar. You're supposed to do your thing. Aren't computers grand? Oh, I know why. I'm doing the wrong thing, dummy. Next Thursday, the 17th, Ken will be on with me.
All right.
So there you go.
Well, ask him that question.
I will, Troy. Thanks.
All right. Have a good day.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. And that opens the lines for you here on the Art Lewis Show for this Friday morning. Give us a call. Cicadas, I'll tell you what, they've caused a lot of problems this year. They're only out once every 17 years. It's an amazing, that's an amazing part of Mother Nature I don't understand. But they've been out heavy enough that they actually caused a delay in the media flying over to the G7. The media was going to leave the day before President Biden. They got on the aircraft, and the cicada bugs had invaded the engine of the aircraft, and so they couldn't fly. And they had to bring in another aircraft and fly them out about 6 hours later. We're lucky around here that we are on the very, very front edge, the very northern edge of the cicadas, and we won't have too much to worry about. But if you go a little farther south and east, you'll run into them. But you think about that life cycle. A creature that buries its eggs in the trees and what have you, and takes 17 years, like a clock. Every 17 years, they come out for whatever their life cycle is. They come out long enough to produce new eggs, and eventually they all die off. That's amazing when you think about it. It's an amazing, amazing story. One of Mother Nature's mysteries. Yes, indeed. All right. Let me tell you something that's not a mystery. How you can find a great selection of used cars and pay rock bottom prices for them. I'm talking about Thalen. Because if you're looking for a newer car than the one you're driving now, got great news. Thalen Auto Group in Bay City has one of the largest inventories of previous loaned vehicles in the Great Lakes Bay region. Hundreds of them. And you could choose from them, from luxury vehicles to everyday drivers, trucks, SUVs, all price ranges. And remember, Thalen searches the market for the lowest prices on their used vehicles, and that's the price they pass on to you, and they do that because it is the right thing to do. Financing is also easy because no matter your current credit situation, Thalen can help you out. Visit the Thalen Auto Group today on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, or view their inventory online at thinkthalen.com. Then test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Sit down with a Thalen representative at one of the dealerships. Find out how easy it is to make that vehicle yours. The Thalen Auto Group, they have been serving the automotive needs of the Great Lakes Bay region for 44 years. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Thalen, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. We'll be back with more calls after these notes.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people. They can consolidate your reduce your interest rates and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, call Consolidated Credit now.
Call now, 800-552-6750. That's 800-552-6750. 800-552-6750.
Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 32. Establishment of a plan may adversely affect the individual's credit rating or credit scores. Non-payment of debt may be creditors to increase financial charges or collections activity, including litigation.
The Saginaw Arts and Enrichment Commission to join in the fun at Saginaw Celebrates Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor Group. Saginaw Celebrates Summer is a great way to experience the vibrancy and diversity of the community while enjoying the many events, activities, and traditions the city has to offer. Animal amphitheater shows, tea ceremonies, festivals, concerts and virtual events, art fairs, museum visits, and much more. Saginaw Celebrates Summer, presented by Hemlock Semiconductor. For a weekly list of activities, follow Saginaw Celebrates Summer on Facebook and Instagram at Arts Saginaw. And for daily updates on all the action, keep listening to WSGW.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Google is pledging to work with regulators in the United Kingdom to remove user tracking from its Chrome browser. Though cookies have raised privacy concerns, advertisers say Google has other ways to track users. A new report estimates global demand for crude oil will return to pre-pandemic highs by the end of next year. The International Energy Agency says poor COVID vaccine rates in emerging economies are keeping oil demand from rebounding sooner. Some people aren't returning to their old jobs because they're becoming entrepreneurs. USA Today says applications to launch new businesses have been filed at a record pace since last summer, some using government stimulus to start companies, others are tapping into rising home values to get started. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Need the perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for every body, so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for Dad at untuckit.com or one of 80-plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
2020 was a challenging year, but things are looking up, including the stock market's performance. But will it last? Hi, I'm Ken Moraif, Senior Advisor at Retirement Planners of America. If you are 50 or older, call us today to schedule a free consultation to learn more about our Invest and Protect strategy that is designed to help mitigate the risk of the stock market. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free assessment. That's 800-375-1159.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, it's our Friday tradition, the Friday Five.
Yeah, you've never heard anything like this before, ever.
Are you mocking?
I'm following the science.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
I heard on WSGW this morning
that Judge Murillo very well could end up giving a free pass to these gun thieves. And I was wondering if you were familiar with him and if he's the kind of man that would actually do such a horrific thing.
Well, A, I'm familiar with him, and B, he will follow the law. He is one of the most educated, smartest people I know, and he will do what the law requires him to do.
Well, the law gives him discretion here. He can either
He will do what the law requires him to do. That's who he is.
Okay.
That's who he is. And that could be for better or worse.
Then you don't acknowledge any judicial discretion whatsoever. Their hands are tied. Then why don't we just have robots? I mean, if the hands are tied and the law, there's no judicial discretion.
If the law allows him judicial discretion, and I'm sure it does to a degree, he will use it judiciously. And you or I may or may not agree with his decision. I don't know what that's going to be. I have no idea.
I'm hoping. I would like to see.
And I'm
sick of seeing people go after law-abiding citizens and their guns. Yet these people who steal guns and arm the violent criminal get free passes. It's sickening.
Well, we don't know. Right now, we're speculating. We're speculating. Let's talk about it after.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about it after the fact.
He does the right thing here.
Well,
and I will. Once it happens, I'll either give him credit or I'll condemn him. I'm ready to. I'm just hoping that he does the right thing here.
Well, the right thing is you see it. He'll do the right thing the law requires.
Well, I believe that gun thieves should be punished.
Yeah, well, I'm agreeing with you too. I do think they should be.
So, and we'll just see where his discretion takes him.
Yep.
Because that's what we're dealing with here.
Well, why are we speculating then? Why don't we wait until after the fact? Because how we feel about it isn't going to sway him.
Oh, no, I agree wholeheartedly. He's going to do what he's going to do. But, I mean, it's just, like I said, when I heard that this morning, I was like, are you kidding me? They could walk? That just, it outraged me. I was like, no way should these criminals walk. How many people have already been murdered with the guns they supplied to the violent gangbangers? That's majority of gun crime in America is carried out with stolen guns.
Yeah, I'm reading the story. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute here. I'm reading the story to see what it exactly says. I see. Well, here's his discretion. Let's see here. These are three men. They had robbed the store. And Judge Murillo may apply the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act, which allows a judge to place a defendant between the ages of 17 and 24 in jail or on probation without a conviction. If the defendant successfully completes the term of the judge's sentence, he or she avoids having a criminal record. The prosecution in the case is opposed to that move. Sentencing will be June 28th. It doesn't say he's going to.
No,
it says it's an option.
He was going to.
It's an option.
I said I heard it's possible.
Yeah.
That's why I was
everything in the world is possible, and we can debate it forever until it actually happens.
But that's why I was calling to find out. I figured you'd be familiar with them.
Well, I am, but I'm certainly not.
And I was to get your take on it.
I'm not on the inside. Well, my take on it is he's a great jurist, and I trust great jurists.
I hope he proves.
You hope he does it your way. I understand that. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? You want it your way, and that may be and may happen that way.
I want people who steal guns to be punished.
Yep.
And that's my way.
Okay, but then the question is, what is punishment? And there's there's lots of answers to that, aren't there?
Well, all right.
You want him in prison.
Well, yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. Not a problem. I'm just saying I will wait until he decides.
Then the guy who buys an AR-15
all right,
legally and uses it legally.
I got the picture.
All righty. You have a great day.
All right, Russ. Bye-bye. Carl's in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, Carl.
Yes, good morning, Art.
Morning.
I'd like to get back to cicadas for a minute.
Yeah.
I call them cicadas. That's what I always heard them called.
Cicada. What did I say?
Cicada?
Did I? No, I thought I called them cicada, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
If I call them cicada, I made a mistake because I know they're cicadas.
Tomato.
Hey, there you go.
We were wondering why a species would only reproduce every 7. We had a discussion of it because most species try to reproduce as often and as quickly as they can. That's their way of surviving. So why would a species only reproduce every 17 years?
Well,
so we looked it up.
Yeah.
We looked it up, and it's because they can overwhelm their predators, that there are so many of the cicadas that the predators can't possibly eat them all.
Well, what's that got to do with 17 years, though? Is that how long they figure it would take to get eaten? I don't know.
No. That's so the predators can't match, and somehow, if it was every 3 years or something, they might be able to increase their numbers to match.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that. Let's think about that for a minute, Carl. So you got a cicada, and its life cycle is short, and it reproduces when it's available, and it gestates for 17 years. What are the predators doing? The predators are constantly reproducing. So it'll just be a different set of predators after the 17 years. What do the cicadas gain?
Yes, but they can't. But there aren't enough of the predators to eat all the cicadas at once.
Well, that may be true. That's like mosquitoes, though.
So that's their survival mechanism, is that they just kind of flood, the area
all at once,
and the predator all at once. They just physically can't eat them all in the time allowed. So nature is amazing when you stop. You stop and
of
think
course,
about it,
of course,
the things it does. And one other thing, Art, I was wondering. You've been talking about the governor, and you had Rodney Wakeman on yesterday, and I think you brought us some good questions about what the state has done over the last year and how things have been handled. Could you find a source, someone you can interview, who would be an unbiased, as much as possible, but, not a representative from this party or that party, but somebody who could talk about Michigan politics and, maybe answer some of these questions about, because I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, Carl. I love the idea. We'll start with that. Executing it is a whole nother problem.
Yeah,
because
I know
all the experts seem to be from one side or the other. It is very
somebody
difficult.
from Saginaw Valley, in the political science department,
Yeah.
or somebody in Lansing,
Well,
or somebody who doesn't.
let me put
somebody
it this
who
way.
isn't in one party or the other party.
Let me put it this way. I'll look for that totally neutral individual. I promise I will.
Well, as much as
finding
possible.
finding them may be another issue. Because if you don't think, for example, political science professors have a bent one way or another, not so sure about that. There are observers. There are observers and political pundits out there who try and be neutral. I'll see if I can find one.
Because I would like to know, what an observer would have to say about what has happened in Michigan, over the last year.
Sure, absolutely.
Not from this side or that side, but just an
Observer.
overview of
Yeah.
what's happened.
Might have to go out of state to find that person.
Well, maybe. I don't
That may be
know.
a good idea. All right, Carl, I got to
But I
take a
would
break.
All right, thanks.
I appreciate the call. Thanks a lot, my friend. No, and it's an interesting idea. It would be interesting to hear, what a neutral observer of politics has to say about the way Michigan handled the pandemic. And I'm sure that conversation, if it were totally neutral, would have pluses and minuses for the governor, pluses and minuses for the legislature. And I'll stop right there. We will be back after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
Kick off summer with this free community event, Concert for a Cause. Join singer Cherie Williams along with the Robert Lee Review Band, Lori and the Lefties, and the Sheriff's Band. There will be food trucks and family games. Bring your lunch here, and don't forget your friends. Thursday, June 17th from 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. in the Y Courtyard overlooking the Saginaw River. The YMCA of Saginaw. 153 years.
And the winner is... I love to win, and one of us can win big at Wildfire Credit Union with the Great Loan Payoff. Finance any secured or signature loan at Wildfire from May through August, and Wildfire might just pay it off up to $50,000. That's right, paying off a loan up to $50,000 for one lucky winner. Loans must be approved by noon on August 31st to qualify. The Wildfire Great Loan Payoff drawing takes place in September. The winner will be notified immediately. And honestly, everyone who finances a secured or signature loan through Wildfire from May 1st through August 31st, 2021 wins big with great rates and terms.
It's easy and convenient to apply. Just ask for Wildfire financing at your dealership. Apply online or directly at your nearest Wildfire branch. The Great Loan Payoff, now through August, only at Wildfire. Wildfire Credit Union, distinctively better. Loans subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. Visit wildfirecu.org/payoff for details.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan, and there are no added taxes or fees, plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in when you switch to Spectrum Mobile. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to spectrummobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line, comparable, and limited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum Internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Power plants usually work their hardest, weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m., June through September. And when they work, the cost of energy increases. By helping you make simple changes, Consumers Energy's summer peak rate can help lower your monthly bill and help Michigan switch to cleaner forms of energy. Together, we can keep Michigan beautiful for generations to come. Visit consumersenergy.com/summer rate to learn more.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Looked a little further into the discussion we have with Russ about Judge Andre Borrello sentencing coming up on June 28th of the men accused of robbing the gun store in Saginaw Township back in 2019. They have pled guilty to 15 counts each of breaking and entering. And the reason that the judge could apply the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act is that at the time of the crime, which was 2019, they were 16-year-olds. And that's the reason that it's possible possible that he could apply that law. But the prosecution, as I mentioned earlier, is opposed to it. I want to talk for a little bit about inflation, because it's out there. It's now running at about 5% or a little more. You see it everywhere. You see it in gas. You see it in food. You see it in travel. You see it on everything you do. And that's the hidden tax. And when President Biden says he's not going to raise tax on anybody making under $400,000 a year, that's semantics. He's not going to raise your specific tax. In other words, he won't raise your income tax. But you're going to get taxed in all kinds of other ways. Inflation is a despicable tax. Inflation eats up your buying power. It's the same thing as if you took the money out of your pocket and you sent it to Washington. So when governmental policies cause price hikes, they're taxing you. Now, part of it is because we're coming out of the pandemic. The supply chains are not working as well as they should, and the demand for product is high, so that drives prices. But the administration's fuel policies, things of that nature, cause a rise in gasoline prices. Well, government's taxing you twice. They're taxing you because you pay a tax on the gasoline you buy, and they're taxing you because you're paying more for that gasoline. Either way, you're paying. Let's talk to Al in Saginaw. Al, good morning.
It's Al in Midland.
I was going to say, I don't know why it says Saginaw. Oh, well. Yeah, anyway.
Well, Charlie made a typo.
Go ahead.
Hey, on the cicadas, I'm not an expert on bugs or entomologist or anything, but the little bit I know about biology, it's not a mystery to me why cicadas do what they do. It looks like a survival technique. They can go through flood stages, temperature problems, droughts. They come out when they need to, and the ones that survive, and the ones that don't survive, we don't know about.
Yeah, but even if they survive, how long do they live?
Yeah.
Life cycle is very little. Yeah.
Few hours, 3 days, something like that. And
so why don't other bugs do that? I mean, you know.
Well, to me, this is one of those higher power things that's beyond my
Bingo.
grade.
Bingo.
And the greater spirit or whatever, God, if you will. It's a design that we are not supposed to understand. We're supposed to marvel at it and question, but we're never going to know the answer because it's not not part of us.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
And you know, and until you get an entomologist that explains it better than that, I'm willing to go along with my theory.
I don't know that they can. So
well, but to me, it's a survival technique.
All right, good enough.
To me, it is not a mystery to me at all.
All right, Al. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend, sir.
Yep, you too.
Bye now.
And Jim in Kochville before I have to take a break here. Jim, good morning.
Good morning to you. Quick question. You changed the topic. I'm glad I haven't seen any cicadas, but I heard they're good to eat.
Yeah, there are chefs cooking them.
I heard that somebody was cooking them. They're supposed to be like shrimp on the grill. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your opinion of the U of M thing with Bo? I mean, I don't like how they cook people when they're dead.
Well, I don't like picking on the dead, but I'm not surprised because there had been a rumor that he had knowledge of it that's been long-standing. A little surprised that his son comes forward. I mean, but they were estranged for a long time. So on one hand, it's not as surprising. On the other hand, it was a surprise. But I'm not surprised that he knew or that he reacted that way because there was a lot of that going on back then.
That's true.
It's just, it's a shame that people back in the day didn't take it more seriously, but they didn't. Now we're finding out about it.
it's kind of like I had to learn in high school. I had to do Mark Anthony's speech, and it was Friends, Romans, Countrymen, and then in the statement come, the evil or dead good is often interred in their bones. In other words, people don't remember. It's almost like the statement, the truth. I remember the storyline when who was it? The guy that was with Little Caesar when he hired Bo for pizza from Detroit.
Tom Monahan.
And poor Bo, as popular as it was, his first job, they wanted him to fire Rooney Harwell. Remember that storyline?
Yeah.
And I talk about
yeah.
Wish you wouldn't have to do that one.
Yeah. All right. Good enough. Hey, Jim, thanks
care.
for calling. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with more. It's the Art Lewis Show.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Reif's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, June 17th at 2 at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
For over 40 years, Region 7 Area Agency on Aging has focused on helping our citizens and providing a range of free services, from helping you find the right drug plan to helping your loved ones get innovative care at home with access to in-home medical care, medical transportation, and so much more. Call the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging today at 800-858-1637 or visit us online at region7aaa.org.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
WSGW is looking for pictures you capture of storm damage, fires, traffic crashes, and more, plus positive and inspirational scenes too. You can be a contributor to the WSGW News team when you witness breaking news. Our newsroom is your newsroom as we team up together to cover the Great Lakes Bay region on air and online with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show for this Friday morning, gateway to the weekend. I hope a good one for you. Lots to do. Bavarian Festival's going on out in Frankenmuth. We will be at Wolf Isles tomorrow morning from 8 until 11. It's Weber Grill Days in time for Father's Day. So we'll be looking for you there. That'll be tomorrow on WSGW. And by the way, tomorrow at 9 o'clock, a new topic, or one we haven't talked about very often over the years, dentistry. If you have any questions about dentistry, Dr. Paul Schmidt is going to be with us tomorrow, and Dr. Schmidt will answer those questions for you. So that's one we haven't done in a long time, and it's always interesting to find out what's new in the world of dental procedures. So we will do that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. It amazes me sometimes how subjects, trigger people. Had an email on the cicada from John. He says if the cicada didn't create an engorgement period, then they would propagate a population increase in their predators due to the abundance of food. Well, that's obvious. It leads to an increased reduction rate in the predator. The cicadas probably timed the 17-year cycle to be a once in several generations or whatever predator is prominent. I don't think the cicada himself timed it. I think Mother Nature did it for them. But, the other thing, as one of the other listeners mentioned, the predators aren't enough to be able to eat the entire cicada hatch once every 17 years. And consequently, that's why we see the swarms and we hear them, and if you happen to be in the area where they are. As I said earlier, fortunately, we are not. We are at the northwestern edge of the cicadas. It's through the middle Atlantic states that they are most heavily populated. And once every 17 years, I guess we learn to live with them, don't we? They're not here that long. Life cycle, is not that long. So you put up with them when they come out, and then you forget them for 17 years. And then the news stories come about 17 years down the road. Oh, guess what? The cicadas are going to hatch. And just like clockwork, they do. It is amazing when you think about the science of biology, reproduction, life cycles, all of those things. Is it not amazing? And I don't care which end of the spectrum you come from, whether you're a religious person or you're an atheist. Either way, you have to be amazed. I mean, obviously, if you are a religious person and you believe God created the heavens and the earth and everything on it, then you have to be amazed that he could create the kinds of life cycles and living creatures that are here. If you're an evolutionist, then you too have to be amazed at how all of these different species have come about and how different they all are. I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing when you think of it. It truly is. And I wonder at it every day. It's the wonderment of life around you and how it happens. It's fascinating. And aren't we lucky to be a part of it the way we are? Because remember, we're just another creature. We happen to be a creature that is upright with opposing thumbs and has a bigger brain, the ability to reason and all of those things. But the bottom line is, we are just another creature on the planet. With that said and done, this creature will take a break and be back to close out this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back after this.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is from financial security to a helping hand. Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it, squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the team at Great Lakes Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free Social Security report. It's a great first step. Security benefits can play a role in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.com/security. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Is your credit card debt piling up? Pacific Debt can help. Pacific Debt is the nation's friendliest debt settlement company. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews on sites like Trustpilot and Best Company, they can settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. In fact, they've settled over $300 million, helping people just like you. Get a monthly program payment you can afford and zero upfront fees. Get free information now. 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
All right, that'll do it. Heading up toward the top of the hour, CBS News, then the local report. We'll be back with hour 2 of the Art Lewis Show, and that will be another open line hour. We'll talk to you after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, France's Emmanuel Macron, and at the start of their G7 summit in a tiny seaside town in southern England. I'm Vicky Barker in London. Boris Johnson and Joe Biden have come into their summit pledging to give 600 million COVID vaccine doses total to low-income countries. So achieving a 1 billion dose pledge by summit's end seems an achievable goal. Problem is, experts at the WHO and elsewhere say that's nowhere near the 11 billion doses needed to vaccinate the world. And they say that can only happen if the wealthy countries share their vaccine technologies. A day after 2 fully vaccinated passengers aboard a Caribbean cruise tested positive for COVID, the company is vowing to keep sending seas out onto the high seas this summer. In Port Canaveral, Florida.
Royal Caribbean is strongly recommending passengers be vaccinated for some of its trips, while Norwegian and Carnival are following CDC recommendations in requiring vaccinations for some of their trips.
Governors of both Florida and Texas are refusing to let cruise lines require passengers to prove they've been inoculated. The world's largest burger chain says it was hacked.
Here's my quarter pounder.
CBS's Lisa Mateo has the details.
According to the Wall Street Journal, McDonald's says hackers stole data from its systems in the U.S. and overseas. The breach affects contact information for U.S. employees and franchisees, but not customer information. In South Korea and Taiwan, attackers stole emails, phone numbers, and addresses for delivery customers, but not payment information. The company says the number of people affected was small, but did not give an exact figure.
Governor Greg Abbott is picking up where former President Trump left off.
The plan for the state of Texas to begin building the border wall in the state of Texas.
President Biden pulled the plug on construction. They're making some long overdue changes in the Lone Star State. CBS's Jim Krasula.
I will announce the word Negro has been removed from the names of 16 sites in Texas by an obscure panel called the U.S. Board on Geographic Names. The group rejected the same idea more than 20 years ago. The Texas legislature had approved a bipartisan resolution urging the removal of the racially offensive term from sites including several creeks, lakes, and hills.
A lot of millennials who scooped up homes during the pandemic are having buyer's remorse. A new survey from Bankrate finds 64% of 25 to 40-year-olds regret for financial reasons. Dow up 51. This is CBS News.
Looking to hire? Indeed will help you speed up the process. They have 135 skills tests to help you find the right candidates faster. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1980 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have a bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Since COVID, people are home with their pets more often, and I think now, especially with the shedding, they're more cognizant of what's going on and that it's an actual issue.
Olive got some skin issues. He gets really going and scratching.
Excessive shedding, a lot of just scratching and itching.
Digging, scratching, and itching and biting. On top of that, he was starting to get black buildup in his ears.
DINOVITE.com.
I just heard the Dynovite commercial so many times that and I ordered it and tried it, and it worked.
We started Dynovite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference, especially with the shedding.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
We've got 4 dogs, all different ages, all different sizes, and they've all just responded really well to the Dynovite, and they all love it.
We will be using Dynovite for life.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
We order our Dynovite from Dynovite.com. DINOVITE.com.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. For parties big or small, if you're feeding a whole bunch of SOB, Lumberjack Restaurant take care of the grub. Mouth-watering ribs, finger-licking chicken, dangerously creamy mac and cheese. Everyone in the neighborhood will be begging for an invite. So get your axe on that fancy phone of yours and visit lumberjackcatering.com to see how you can upgrade your next event with Lumberjack Catering.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are always here to give you the killer deals you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Cafe 13, JB's Market, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and more, Beer Garden, and High Country Jumpers. Half off? You bet. It's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live 100.5 and 790 Newsroom. This is WSGW News.
It's 81 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Dave Maurer. A threat against an attorney in November 2019 has led to a prison sentence for a Beaverton man. An FBI investigation found 54-year-old Britton Atkinson sent a D.C.-based attorney Mark Zaid, who represented the whistleblower in President Donald Trump's Ukraine call. The email contained language calling him a traitor and threatening his life. Atkinson pleaded guilty to making an interstate communication of a threat to injure. He was sentenced yesterday to a year and a day. 3 men may receive lenient sentences after pleading guilty to numerous felonies related to a theft of guns from a Saginaw Township gun store in 2019. WSGW's Michael Percher reports.
18-year-old Remy Delgado, 18-year-old Preston O'Leary, and 19-year-old Travantis Miller each pleaded guilty to 15 counts of breaking and more. 49 guns were stolen from the Showtime Guns and Ammo. Police have been able to track down only a handful of the weapons, as some of which have been used in the commission of crimes, including murder. Due to the ages of the men at the time of the crime, Judge Andre Borrello may apply the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act, which allows a judge to place a defendant between the ages of 17 and 24 in jail or conviction. If the defendant successfully completes the terms of the judge's sentence, he or she avoids having a criminal record. The prosecution in the case is opposed to the move. The defendants will be sentenced June 28th. Michael Percha, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
Fireworks are coming back to Sanford this July 4th. The Sanford Lake Association, in conjunction with the County Parks Division, are putting on the annual fireworks program at the Midland County Park at the south end of Sanford Lake. Without a lake for viewing, the display in front of the Community of Christ Campground, a launch location, has been moved to the Sanford Lake Park. Access to the park is free for 2021. Entertainment at Sanford Lake Park will start at 1 p.m., including the Mid-Michigan Drum Circle, guitarist Nicole King of Essexville, and vocalist Aria Segura of Midland. The Splash Park will also be open. Prime viewing will be offered at the Sanford Lake Park, where beer will be allowed but no hard liquor, as well as at Sanford Village Park south of the dam, where no alcohol is allowed. Set off from the boat launch area at dark. In case of rain, the display will be held on July 5th. The annual fireworks display costs over $10,000, is mainly funded by local property owners, but this year has been offset by a local foundation and corporate donations, including the Kepler Foundation, Spicer Group, and Fisher Contract. WSGW News Time, 10:08.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend a workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, June 17th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryrifelawyer.com.
W News Time at 10:09. In an effort to increase vaccination rates around Midland County, the Midland County Department of Public Health, Mid-Michigan Health, and Midland Business Alliance have partnered to offer vaccines on the road. The program will bring vaccines directly on site to local employers who would like to participate. Medical professionals, Mid-Michigan Department will be on hand to give a short presentation with information about the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine to ease any fears of those considering vaccination. As another incentive, those who receive the vaccine will get a $25 gift card to a local restaurant. Employers interested in hosting a vaccine clinic can contact the Midland Business Alliance. And Public Safety has added 2 chaplains to its roster. WSGW's Rick Antonio reports.
Pastor Philip Johnson began his volunteer position last week, with Chaplain Richard Donahue joining this week. Department of Public Safety Director Mike Cicchini says the 2 will be bringing a needed service for employees and residents that the department has been missing.
We had a chaplain a few years ago, and because of other commitments, he had to leave. I look at it as trying to take care of my team and having a resource. So this is just another resource that our employees have to help them out when they need to talk to someone that's not a member of law enforcement, but is there to support law enforcement and fire.
Pastor Phil is an ordained minister from Bay City and has been in ministry for over 22 years, serving as the lead pastor at Apostolic Life Church since 2016. Chaplain Rick has been involved in firefighting for nearly 50 years, serving as fire chief for both Madison Heights and Bangor Township, and as a volunteer fire chaplain for the Bay County Mutual Aid Box Alarm System Division. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
When you see news happening, W Newsroom at 7520790. It's 10:11. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. Highs warm to the upper 80s. East-northeast winds light around 5. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy, 63 for your low. Saturday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms towards the afternoon, while at partly sunny skies, 82 for your high. 85 on Sunday, sunshine, winds a little breezy out of the northwest. 83 with sunshine continuing for the beginning of the work week. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently 82.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show on this Open Line Friday. Whatever you'd like to chat about. Our number is 752-6111 here in Saginaw Bay City. Elsewhere in the state, 866-790-WSGW. Outside the state, 989-752-6111. And would love to chat about anything on your mind. There was an announcement late yesterday that 10 senators, 5 from the Republican side of the aisle, 5 from the Democratic side of the aisle, came to an agreement on an infrastructure proposal. It would spend a fraction, about 25% of the original $4.1 trillion proposed by the administration. It would provide $974 million over 5 years, and it would focus on core physical infrastructure, not increase taxes, though it includes an option to index the gas tax to inflation. It would also spend $579 billion in new funding over what would otherwise be spent without any new legislation. The group of 10 senators are mostly from what I call the centrist part of both parties. And that's where things have to get done. The far left, far right just shout at each other. They don't talk to each other. The senators were Senators Rob Portman, Republican from Ohio, Kristen Sinema, Democrat of Arizona. They were the leaders of the group. Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana. Jeanne Shaheen, Democrat of New Hampshire. Susan Collins, Republican of Maine. Joe Manchin, Democrat of Wisconsin. Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska. John Testard, Democrat, Montana. Mitt Romney, Republican of Utah. Mark Warner, Democrat of Virginia. As I said, I view most of those names on that list as pretty much the centrists who can sit down and cull good ideas from both sides and put it together in a reasonable proposal. Look, we all agree, I believe, that the physical infrastructure of this country is in desperate need of help. Roads, bridges, rail, water systems, electric grid, those are things I call infrastructure. And they need help right now. It is improbable that only one side has all the answers. Now, I know if you're at the far left, you think only your answers are the right answers. And if you're at the far right, you think only your answers are the right answers. Of course, rarely is that true. Bottom line is there's good ideas on both sides. You have to cull out the good ones, find the ones you can agree on, sit down, put them into some kind of package that benefits the American people. Too often they want to benefit their parties or they want to benefit their voting constituents rather than benefiting the people of the country, period, no matter whom you vote for. So, this to me, these 10 senators sitting down and hammering out an agreement, and I'm well aware that it's not finalized. It's got to go through all the processes. Everybody's going to try and get their hand in it, try and monkey with it. But the fact that 10 senators can sit down, intelligently talk about an issue, come to agreement on those areas they can agree on, and put it together in a package, to me is good news. That's the way I think government should work. Now, in the last couple of decades, I've been in the minority. It hasn't worked that way, at least on the major public issues, where they stake their ground and say what they think their constituents want to hear. Because there are a lot of issues that happen in Washington we never hear about that are bipartisan. They go about their business every day. They pass these things. You don't even think about them because they don't impact you. And they work together. And that's true, for example, on federal laws and programs that impact Michigan. You'll find the Democrats and the Republicans from Michigan working together to make it happen. The way it should be. So, personally, and am I going to agree with every dollar spent in that proposal? Probably not. And would I want to see more money spent in certain places that they're not spending it? Probably would. But the fact that they sat down, came up with an agreement, and will now take it to the Senate, where hopefully it'll get serious consideration, that's a positive to me. That's a positive to me. But then the question is, will the president accept it? Because he's already said he's going to go it alone. I actually think that President Biden is in a position now where he can't do that. And the reason is one name, and that name happened to be part of these 10 senators. That name is Joe Manchin. Because without Manchin on board, President doesn't have the votes. So he's going to have to yield because he can't even get reconciliation without Manchin. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And it looks like Patrick is chomping at the bit to say something. Hold your thoughts, Patrick. We're going to take a break first. When we come back, we'll include our buddy Pat in the conversation here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. When you support Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan, homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow. R3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Summer is a great time to get away. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation or staycation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's a faraway land or a little getaway close to home, a vacation or staycation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org, member NCUA.
Life in the Tri-Cities seems to be getting back to normal. M&R wants to remind you that now is a great time to replace your old garage door from the pros at M&R Garage Door. Home design experts agree. Replacing your garage door can instantly transform the look of your home, almost more than any other exterior improvement. M&R Garage Door or opener professionally and has trained staff to stand behind their work. M&R has been selling, installing, and repairing doors for over 50 years. Remember, at M&R Garage Doors, service is their specialty.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher. Optimism appears to be holding after the S&P 500 closed at a record on Thursday. McDonald's says it is the latest business to be attacked by cyber criminals. The company says hackers exposed some business information in the U.S., South Korea, and Taiwan. No consumer information in the U.S. was accessed. Money manager BlackRock will start offering mutual funds in China. It has received approval from regulators there. Tesla shares are higher after the launch of its new $130,000 Model S Plaid. AMC has been trading higher after its credit rating was upgraded by S&P Global analysts who say it's less likely to default after raising money from its stock rally. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
The perfect Father's Day gift? Get them a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked so they feel comfortable and look sharp all day. They also come in sizes and fits for every body so you can easily find something in his size. This Father's Day, find the perfect present for dad at untuckit.com or one of 80-plus Untuck It stores nationwide. Use code DAD20 for 20% off your first purchase. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show, it's our Friday tradition, the Friday Five. Yeah, you've never heard anything like this before, ever. Are you mocking? I'm following the science.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking about the bipartisan Senate group that has come up with an infrastructure deal. But again, it has to make its way through the process. And Pat Johnson in the studio is chomping at the bit, as I knew he would be. Patrick.
Well, I just want to let you know, everybody's talking about this, but this was according to Lawrence O'Donnell from MSNBC. Now, I know that Lawrence is very liberal, and he worked for I think his first campaign was Bobby Kennedy's campaign and all that. But he does years, and I do listen to him when it comes to the sausage making. I always think he does a pretty good job there. And this is what he tweeted last night. He said, Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden from Oregon tells me bipartisan negotiations have produced nothing acceptable to Democrats, and that they will soon be doing an infrastructure bill in reconciliation.
And if they don't get Joe Manchin's vote, what happens?
That's the key. Yeah, I know.
It is the key.
And you're right. But here's the thing about Joe Manchin, why I think he is one of the, I don't know, I'm going to say it, dumbest senators in the country, is because the reason he gave for not voting for the Voting Rights Bill was that he said, well, it's not bipartisan. This is something that's got to be everything's got to be bipartisan. Well, now, wait a second. Just 3 months ago, or 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you voted Act, which got 0 Republican votes, and you had no problem voting for that one.
Well, he separated that out, though. He did specify voting.
It's all.
But here's the bottom line, and we have to respect this fact about Joe Manchin. He represents a heavily conservative state.
That he does.
And so he's voting for his constituents, and I admire the fact of anyone, not just Manchin. I admire the fact that anyone would step out of their comfort caucus zone, if you will, because the comfort caucus zone may not represent their constituents' wishes. Listen, we're a representative democracy. When we elect our representatives, we all hope they vote the way we wanted them to vote. if you're in the majority and you've elected a representative from your side of the aisle, they're going to do that for you. But every now and then, there are representatives get elected from the other side of the aisle, and you would hope they'd listen to the constituency that elected them.
You are correct about that, and I don't disagree, which is why I don't not want to vote for the Voting Rights Act. I saw a poll in West Virginia that showed that 65% of West Virginians wanted that passed, yet he's going against them. I don't know why, but he is. This infrastructure bill, very popular everywhere, and yet he's trying to hold it up for one reason or another.
Just a minute here.
Just
a minute here. The infrastructure bill, as structured by the Biden administration, is very popular with Democrats
and the country.
No, I don't think so.
Polls have shown it's getting over 60%.
Yeah, but that's and also this. Let's also talk about this, because you mentioned this morning too, about the money side of this. This one carries with it almost $1 trillion in physical infrastructure.
Right.
You could double that, you could triple that, you could quadruple that, and it wouldn't change a darn thing about how many shovels will hit the ground, because there are not enough contractors and not enough laborers, even at full employment, to do all the work all at once. It's got to be a timed project. This is almost $1 trillion over 5 years. So in that 5 years, you come up with the next phase, and you work your way down the line. Now, the area that I truly disagree with the Democratic proposal on is what's outside of physical infrastructure. If childcare is that important, then put it through as its own bill. Let it stand alone. It will. If it's that important, it'll succeed. Why do you put them into these proposals? They do that all the time, and both sides are guilty of it.
I understand. I here is where I kind of like that idea, is because we want people out there working, right?
I know the reasoning. I've heard all the reasoning.
So is childcare not part of overall infrastructure?
No, it is not.
So how do you get an infrastructure?
It is not.
If people have to stay home because they've got kids,
it's a separate issue. Then you pass a bill that says childcare should stand alone. It's an important topic.
But you don't see that as
I don't see that as
intertwined.
No, I don't.
With somebody who's got to work, if they don't have good childcare, how do they go out and work?
I define infrastructure as physical infrastructure that has to do with roads, bridges, rail, air, water, electricity, hard shovel in the ground
Wi-Fi
projects. And Wi-Fi, I would, in this day and age, I would include Wi-Fi and broadband, because it's become a utility service in many ways.
Agreed. I look at it this way. In World War II, when we were faced up against Japan and Germany, and fascism was threatening to take over the entire world, we didn't have any problem spending whatever it took. And we didn't say, well, you know what? Is there really going to be enough people to do these jobs? Well, you know what? We didn't worry about that. We just did it.
Why didn't we worry about it?
We didn't.
Why didn't we worry about it?
Because we were in war.
And because people volunteered and came out of the woodwork to do it, didn't they?
Well, women went and worked because
who built the planes?
The women.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
But
that was war.
That's what I mean.
Entirely different.
We need that, but that's what I'm saying. I think what we need, I hope that's what I'm trying to get at. I wish that we had that mindset again, that we are kind of in a warlike mindset, that we've got to upgrade so that way we're not being passed up by countries like China, for instance, and other countries. Is that we've got to upgrade everything here real soon, probably in about 10 years. We've got to do a lot of stuff.
Well, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you there. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that things need to be upgraded. We've gone way too long allowing it to deteriorate, and we now find ourselves in a position where it's going to cost us. No two ways about it. But all I'm suggesting is give me a hardcore physical infrastructure bill. Give me a bill on childcare. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Don't mesh them all together, because all of a sudden, what traditionally was infrastructure now is being changed, like everything else in the world right now.
Art, we've talked here for about 5 minutes, and I think we've solved absolutely nothing. So good.
All right. Well, that's our job. That's our job.
Hey, we've got Robert from Bridgeport on. You want to talk to Robert?
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, Robert. Good morning.
Well, good morning. Now, this question is an analogy to start out, okay?
Yep.
What if we went to Saudi Arabia, let's go back in time, say 50 years or more, and told the Saudi Arabians, we'll give you a few $100s for a permit to take the oil out of your land, and we'll build the plant, the roads to it. We'll probably end up giving you some jobs because, you can have the employees working at the plant. But we're not going to give you any money for the oil at all. But we will, do everything else. What do you think about that?
They would have told you to take a hike.
Well, that's what we're doing with the water in Everett.
With the what?
With the water supply. There's a corporation in Everett taking 1 million gallons or more a day, and they pay a few $100s for a permit, and that's all they pay. And they do build the plant and the infrastructure. So I guess we should tell them to take a hike. Well, I don't know if that's possible now.
Well, it's not. They have a permit. They've been granted the authority to do it.
A few $100. Well, I just thought I'd bring that up. I guess we should have told them to take a hike.
So you think they only pay a few $100s?
They pay for the infrastructure. They pay for the plant.
Yeah, they pay tax on that? Do they pay
more than we,
Do they pay tax on that?
Uh-huh.
Did they pay tax on that?
Well, there's, there might be some. We could tell the Saudi Arabians 50 years ago, well, we'll pay some taxes on it or whatever.
Well, the only difference is the Saudi Arabians were a different country.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the point. That's the analogy. I'm just saying we're letting people come over here from a foreign country and buy a permit, provide the infrastructure, and take water out without buying the water. That would be like us going to Saudi Arabia and going there.
Mm-hmm. So you think they ought to pay for the water, figure out some price per liter or gallon of water?
You know what? I checked it out at the grocery store. And this is another ironic thing. You can buy a gallon of water that's spring water from the state of New York for $1 a gallon. But you can get the same water made, coming out of Michigan for $1.69 a gallon. So here you have a gallon of water that travels all the way from the state of New York to here for $1 a gallon. And water right from our state at $1.69 a gallon. Sold by this same company that pays a few $100s for a permit and provides infrastructure and doesn't spend a dime to purchase the water. It's just, sad.
All right.
That's a kind word.
Good enough. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye, Robert. Got to take a break. Let me tell you that our show is sponsored by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty in Saginaw. Sellers are getting top dollar for their homes with the average of 1 day on the market. Linda Shepard sells faster. Buyers are cash or pre-approved. She doesn't waste any time. Years of experience. Linda's a full-time agent that lives here and sells here, and her agency, Pinnacle, is not a franchise. So the money stays right here in your community. And buyers, the interest rates are still low. Linda Shepard watches the market closely, so clients get a showing fast and have a fighting chance. She'll fight for every offer every time. Call Linda, 989-295-7713, 295-7713. We will be back after these notes.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Looking for us all to hitch up the wagon and head north. Now, before you go getting too far on your journey, don't forget to fuel up that inner grizzly at the Lumberjack Restaurant. From nachos piled high with pulled pork to dangerously creamy mac and cheese, your gut will thank you for making the detour. So get your axe up to the Lumberjack Restaurant of West Branch, exit 212 I-75, where hunger goes to die.
Slither into the Saginaw Children's Zoo, and you never know who you might see at an animal meet and greet at an amphitheater show. Visit new barnyard friends, llamas, bandana and Charlie, and Pig Shark. Playground and Fossil Finder open this year, and remember to take your ride on the ADA accessible train and carousel. We will see you at the zoo this year.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
For Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW. Scope.
Line drive down the left field line, hooking in the corner. Gone, a home run. Man, Jonathan Scope, he's heating up, baby. Fly ball to left field, deep. Got a chance. Gone. How about Jonathan Scope?
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by
Ed Raymond & Sons in Chesaning.
your local auto owners agents, including Rummel Agency, Mayan Agency,
And Buck Insurance Agency.
The Tigers play on WSGW. Direct from the Stone Specialist Studio. 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show in progress. We were talking about the bipartisan proposal, which will now move to the Senate, but there's already talk on both sides. You knew that there was going to be negative chatter on both sides about it. That's just the way of the beast. Now what will happen is each side will maneuver to try and get their points included in this deal. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, President Biden finds himself on a very dangerous precipice, and he's got to be careful what he does and which way he goes, because without Joe Manchin, he has not got enough even to do reconciliation. Reconciliation is the process where a budgetary bill, money bill, can be passed in the Senate with simple majority. In this case, it would be 51 votes, 50 votes from all Democrats and the vice president breaking the tie. But without Joe Manchin, he doesn't make it to 51. Without Joe Manchin, he loses. So that's where the power is sitting in Joe Manchin right now. And has been. So the question is, how much is the administration willing to bend to ensure passage? Republicans don't have to do anything. They can just sit and watch. They don't have to do a thing. Now, understand that there are many Republicans who want to see an infrastructure bill, just as there are many Democrats that want to see an infrastructure bill. It's one of those areas where there is agreement that the country needs this to be done. The discrepancy comes in how much, how fast, and what is infrastructure. The president wanted bipartisanship. Okay, he's got it. Let's see what he does with it. Because if he decides to go it alone, he takes a big chance. Going to be interesting to see what happens. Errol in Saginaw, good morning.
Good morning. I needed to break from the heat and the sun because it's causing my hair to fall.
Oh, good.
But you're talking about infrastructure, the roads and the sewers and all that stuff. But I was watching a program last night on the amount of that Lake Mead has dropped out west, and the rest of the places that depend on the rivers and stuff like that. I would hope they would start to think about building humongous size desalinization plants to take the place of what we get in the rivers. I think they should be thinking about it for Las Vegas and California and every place else that grows our food. This water come out of the ocean and change it into water that we can use. What do you think, sir? And that's dangerous.
Well, desalinization is a great answer if you live next to the ocean and you don't have to transport the water far. If they could get the Pacific Ocean to feed, for example, the Colorado River with desalinated water, that would be a boon to the West, wouldn't it? That'd be a great boon to the West. But you'd have to first build the infrastructure big enough to supply that much water, and then you'd have to figure out how to get it over there.
Well, you may have to put transfer stations.
You may have to build pipelines.
Well, we're building pipelines. We want to build pipelines for gas and oil and everything else.
Sure.
We can live without the gas and oil, but we can't live without the water. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. I'd love to see it happen.
Okay, so you would include that in your the building the roads, the sewers, and everything
as
else.
Part of infrastructure, because water is, to me, water supply is part of infrastructure. Now, that includes a lot of things. That includes municipal water systems. It includes the pipes going to your home. It includes dams, because they're not only part of the water system, they're part of the electric system. All of those things. Yeah, sure, that's infrastructure. Whether it's feasible or not, whether it's economically feasible, I don't know. We'd have to look at it. But I certainly would. I would want somebody to look at it. This sounds reasonable.
If we can send stuff to Mars and then a lot of other places in space, there ain't nothing. There is nothing.
I hear you.
My English is suffering.
I hear you.
I really think we should consider. We should have done it. But us Americans like to postpone everything till it's falling apart.
Well, I have to wonder, Earl, because desalinization has been looked at many, many times and talked about over many, many decades. I have to wonder if the size of the facility needed to do it is an obstacle. I don't know the answer. It's only a speculative question. We know it can be done. We know it can be done because every cruise ship in the world does it.
Yes, they do.
So we know it can be done. The question is to the scale we need.
I really think, well, it doesn't matter. Scale never bothered us before. We generally did it because we needed it. But I hope that that's included in it, that we get our heads out of the sand pile, put our electrical grid underground, and build some desalinization plants. Ooh, I got the big word out. Okay, sir.
Good enough.
Have
Thanks.
a nice day. Stay cool.
All right, Earl.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And we will take a break and come back with more lines open for you on the Art Lewis Show.
If you're thinking that the UPS store is only about packing and shipping,
I sort of was.
here's something else you should. A real street address is just the ing to give your business that professional image.
I hadn't thought about that.
Once you see every ing we can do for your small business, it'll have you rethinking the UPS store.
I think I already have.
The UPS store. Every ing for small business. All in one place.
The UPS store.
The UPS store franchise locations are independently owned and operated. Services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
For more details, check out the UPS store in the Green Acres Plaza in Saginaw or at theupsstore.com/3451. While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind UV rays and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a RoofMax shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with RoofMax. A powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
It all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually
EPI.
Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis, my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines the prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED. Price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/LOVE.
WSGW is proud to announce we are again a finalist for the National Service to America Award. We won that award last year for our Sharing Hope Radiothon. This year, our 500-year flood entry is among 3 finalists vying for the Media Market Award for Community Service. Our entry showed the devastation and the resolve to recover by local residents in the Great Lakes Bay region. Together with you, your Service to America station is WSGW.
All right, we are back with you here on WSGW. Open line day, and lines are open for you right now. If you'd like to give us a shout out and chat with us, we'd be happy to talk to you about whatever's on your mind for this Friday. Wow, nice weekend. Variant Festival going on. The Grill Days tomorrow at Wolf Files. We'll be there from 8 to 11. Looking forward to that. Something else going on overseas right now. The president, of course, is at the G7, and he announced yesterday that we are going to provide the world with hundreds of millions of doses of vaccine, and implored other countries to get on board and do so. Those countries, like in Africa, where it's estimated less than 1% of the population is so far been vaccinated. This is his first foray as president overseas on a mission like this. So he's going to be scrutinized for how he does and what he does. You know, he's been there before as vice president, as a senator. He's dealt with these folks. He's dealt with these situations. But now he's president. Now he represents the United States. And you know that he's going to, he already has, totally undone anything and everything that Donald Trump did. And, I guess from the diplomatic standpoint, the countries in the G7 seem to be responsive to his style. Let me put it that way. Because, like or not like Donald Trump, he was his own person and a very dynamic, aggressive figure, and stood his ground. Sometimes stood other people's ground when he pushed people out of the way so he could be in the front. So the tone is entirely different. Now, I don't think the G7 leaders are going to try and seize on the opportunity and try and push Biden around, because I don't think that would be a smart thing to do. But it appears that they are receptive to his style, let's put it that way. Less confrontational. Whether everything he does is better for the country or not, those issues can be debated. But in terms of style, he certainly is representing the country in an entirely different way than his predecessor. And again, depending on the glasses you're looking through, for better or worse. Time will tell. There are a number of issues which we do have to unify power between the G7s, the United States, Europe as a whole, and that is the rise of influence of China, Russia making a lot of noise. These are issues that concern the aligned nations of the world. And these are issues that can only be dealt with in a consolidated way. One country alone can't do it. Not in this world. In the day when the United States was the only industrial power, the only this and the only that, you pretty much have our way and countries would follow along and do whatever that we needed to do. That's not the world we live in anymore. That's not the world we live in. There are many, many, many industrialized countries, some of them producing more goods than we do, sometimes better goods than we do. So we're not alone in the world anymore. We can't dictate the terms, so to speak. I can remember a time when you never heard the term global economy. Pretty much U.S. economy, and everybody followed along and got their piece of the action. Now, it is truly a global economy. And when there are threats to the global economy, those nations threatened have to band together and figure out a way to resist the threat. China is viewed as an economic threat. So the countries of the world will have to stand together. Not only is China viewed as an economic threat, but they are becoming a military threat too. So there are a lot of issues at stake that impact not just the United States, but the countries of the world as a whole. We'll take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out.
Everyone loves shopping online. Well, I'm going to tell you what I tell my golf buddies when they buy clubs. Stop searching for coupon codes. Download Capital One Shopping to your computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. Plus, it's free, and you don't even need a Capital One card to use it. That's like hitting a hole-in-one without even trying. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table
of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Robert Riopel has taught over 500,000 students around the world how they can gain financial freedom because he and his wife knew what it was like on the other end of that spectrum.
Rich people, they think long term. Poor people think short term, instant gratification. And we were all about the instant gratification.
Don't miss the next episode of The Big Impact with special guest Robert Raymond Riopel, Sunday, WSGW.
Fly ball, right field. This one's deep. Going back, Haniger looking up, and it's gone. Number 10 for Jonathan Scope. Ties it up at 1 here in the first.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW. WSGW. Your source for local news and information in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW. Our thanks to Linda Shepard from Pinnacle Realty for sponsoring our program. You can call her 295-7713. We take a moment just to talk about a trip we're doing next year in June of 2022, a wonderful trip to the Colorado Rockies in cooperation with Collette Vacations. We're going to fly out of Detroit. We will bus you down to Detroit to Denver, and the tour starts there. Denver, Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado National Monument, Grand Junction, Canyonlands National Park, Dead Horse Point State Park, Arches National Park, Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, Mesa Verde National Park and the Cliff Dwellings, Royal Gorge Route Railroad, and the Garden of the Gods. The cost of the trip is $32.29 per person, double occupancy. But if you sign up now, you save $200 a person. Shoot me an email, artlewis@wsgw.com, and either give me your mailing address or your email address, and we'll ship you off a flyer. All right, coming up, focus. We're going to focus on the Kitchen Kings today when we return.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. The leaders of the world's most powerful democracies are in the UK, welcomed by Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
Thank you all very much for coming. It is genuinely wonderful to see everybody in person.
CBS's Nancy Cordes says the G7 wants to project a united front.
It's meant to send a message to Russia and China in particular that the world's biggest democracies are united again and working together, and that democracy itself is still the most effective form of government.
I'm Vicky Barker in London.
So nice to meet you.
Jill Biden and Kate Middleton share a skill to make small talk with sixth graders. Many of the children at this specialist state school have experienced trauma. The kids, though, more interested in telling their guests about the resident pet rabbits. The First Lady and the future Queen both have proven track records on childhood education. It's quite likely their brief encounter went well beyond small talk.
The Secretary of State Blinken, in a call today with his Chinese counterpart, stressed the need for transparency and cooperation in the investigation into the origins of COVID-19. In a hunt for leaks, the Trump Justice Department subpoenaed the personal data of at least 2 Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee and people close to them. CBS's Catherine Herridge in Washington.
The reaction has been one of anger Democrats who say this is another example of what they call the Trump administration's assault on democracy and using the Justice Department as its own political weapon against his opponents.
Sounding frustrated, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott says he'll announce plans next week for state construction of a border wall.
This is not a tourism site for members of Congress to make an annual pilgrimage to and see the border, then go back and do absolutely nothing.
He also says migrants who venture onto private property will be arrested. Well, for a lot of people, this is a rough season. And CBS's Jim Krasula has new information about springtime sniffling and sneezing.
Allergy season starts earlier and lasts longer each year because of climate. The eco-climatologists in Germany who say warmer temperatures cause flowers to bloom earlier, while higher carbon dioxide levels cause more pollen to be produced.
In Duxbury, Massachusetts, an investigator has found that a high school football team used anti-Semitic language during a game last season and has been using the same language in practices for about a decade. The head coach, who was likely aware of it, according to the report, but has condemned it, was fired. Right now on Wall Street, the Dow is down 55, is up about a point. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Join the millions switching to Spectrum Mobile and you could save up to 40%. Nationwide 5G is included with every plan and there are no added taxes or fees plus no contracts. And for a limited time, get up to $300 off a new Samsung 5G phone with trade-in. Visit a Spectrum store near you or go to SpectrumMobile.com today. Savings based on comparison of single-line comparable unlimited plans amongst major national carriers as of 1/27/2021. Data usage limits vary by carrier. Spectrum Internet required. Services not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
79 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. A Beaverton man is in prison after making threats to the attorney of a federal whistleblower. 54-year-old Britton Atkinson was sentenced yesterday to a year and a day in jail for sending a threatening email to attorney Mark Zayed in Washington in November 2019. The email contained language threatening Zayed's life, calling him a traitor. He contacted the FBI after receiving the email with the sender. Atkinson pleaded guilty last December to making an interstate communication of a threat to injure. 2 bills have been introduced with an aim at limiting local restrictions on short-term rental properties, and Frankenmuth city officials are not happy. Rick Antonio has more.
Frankenmuth City Manager Bridget Smith says the bill could hurt established lodging and hotels in the city, which takes in much of its money through tourism. She says Frankenmuth updated its short-term rental policy a few years ago with restrictions in place for those renting out their property. Under the legislation, short-term rentals would be considered a residential use and exempt from special use or conditional use permitting. She adds the idea that the residential neighborhoods being hotels frightens her, and that it could affect neighbors who have lifetime investments into their homes. State Senator Ken Horn of Frankenmuth is looking to reintroduce a bill he proposed last year combating the one-size-fits-all approach that he says may not be the best way to legislate the issue. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
A West Branch man was recently arraigned in Ogama County for possessing child pornography. State police troopers conducted a traffic stop April 28th. A 55-year-old William Hook. Police say Hook had a cell phone affixed to the dashboard, which displayed a nude image of a woman. Police questioned Hook about the image, whereupon the suspect swiped it, allegedly exposing an image of child sexually abusive material. After his arrest, police also served a search warrant at his home. Evidence. Hook was charged June 2nd on multiple counts of possessing child sexually abusive material and using a computer to commit a crime. WSGW News Time is 11:07.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. This auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
WSGW News Time is 11:08. A former Michigan State University basketball star has been ordered to remain in jail during his first court appearance on murder and other charges in Detroit. Defense attorney Andrew Abood asked for a bond, saying Keith Appling had always appeared in court in previous cases, but a magistrate denied bond Thursday, noting the first-degree murder charge. Abood entered a not guilty plea on Appling's behalf. Appling is accused of killing 66-year-old Clyde Edmonds during a dispute over a gun. Appling played for Michigan into 2014. His coach, Tom Izzo, says the allegations are sad. The Michigan House Committee on Natural Resources and Outdoor Recreation held a hearing to discuss the progress the state is making to address PFAS contamination. Abigail Hendershot, the executive director of the Michigan PFAS Action Response Team, told lawmakers Thursday that drinking water samples of residents near airports are being tested.
So the best way to get the levels down from our wastewater treatment plants is to make sure that those industries that are using PFAS are controlled, that they have some sort of cleanup technology on the industry's discharge so that they no longer are discharging things that are above water quality standards to the wastewater treatment plant.
PFAS products are stored at airports and used to suppress fires in case of aviation accidents. Auto racing is back in Detroit today as the Chevrolet Grand Prix returns. Charlie Langton reports.
Belle Isle looks beautiful, but it takes a lot of volunteers to make the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix happen at Belle Isle. And Ed Wiglars, he has coordinated all of the volunteers. He says they're needed for, giving out credentials and food services, even cleaning up the track.
Normally, we have almost 1,000 volunteers, but this year we only have about 600 because when this race was being put together, there were so many COVID restrictions that we didn't think we were going to have as big a crowd, so fewer grandstands were built.
Now, interestingly, Ed and his wife Miriam have worked every single Grand Prix since 1982, but in November, Ed's wife Miriam passed away. So the people here renamed the Credential Center after Miriam Wiglars. What a nice tribute.
And that was Charlie Langton reporting. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom, 752-0790. It's 11:11. I'm Ann Williams.
USGW weatherology forecast. Scattered showers and thunderstorms possible this afternoon. Otherwise, lots of sunshine. Highs warm to the upper 80s. East-northeast winds light around 5. Tonight, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy, 63 for your low. Saturday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms towards the afternoon, while a partly sunny skies. 82 for your high. 85 on Sunday, sunshine, winds a little breezy out of the northwest. 83 with sunshine continuing for the beginning of the work week. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now, 83.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News and online, WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. Today we're going to focus on a business and something that they have coming up, a major event. The business is Kitchen Kings, and a number of people to talk to. First of all, in the studio, we say good morning to Elise Watson. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning.
And I can see her too. You can watch us on video if you like. Also with it this morning, we say good morning to Christopher Watson. Good morning, Christopher.
Good morning. Good morning. Good
Are
morning.
the Watsons related?
Yes. This is my mother. She is the owner of Cater to You Antiques and More, which is also another one of the businesses that is involved in sponsoring this wonderful event we have coming to the area.
All right. And also with us on the phone this morning is Gabriel Martinez. Gabriel, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Thank you for having me on today.
Sure, absolutely. All right. So let's start with the business itself. Tell us a little bit about the business, and then we'll get to the event.
Well, Kitchen Kings is a new business in the area. We are a food service company. We're not a restaurant, but we do provide takeout and delivery. And so we have a wonderful menu of different variety of foods, from sandwiches to pastas and salads, and just really, really good food. The people here at Alpha Media has had a chance to enjoy some of that delicious food. And so many people in the community have been a great support to us since we've been around. It's been about 3 months now. And so we've been going strong, and we love our community.
And how many of these are Mom's recipes? Come on, Mom.
Mom takes no credit for it. It's all Chris and his team, and they're doing a wonderful job, an excellent job.
And let's also talk about Gabriel, your role in all of this.
So I actually have the privilege to partner up with them at their upcoming events. The company that I'm representing, Synergy Global, is a network of business owners and entrepreneurs, business professionals, and we're just really doing what we can to build community value to the marketplace and bring a culture of servanthood to business.
And part of this event coming up, tell us a little bit about what the event is and when it is.
Absolutely. So the event is going to be July the 23rd and 24th. That's a Friday and Saturday. And it is called the Community Day and the Great Lakes Bay Region Talent Showcase. So what we wanted to do is we provided an opportunity for small businesses in the area to come out and to promote and market their brands. We've also provided that same opportunity to upcoming artists and talent that we have in the for musical artists, but we have an opportunity to hear from the comedians of the area, those who are into acting and stage performances. And so we're going to have representation from all over the state. We also will have representation from our students from SASA. They're going to come out and join us as well and give some performances and showcase their talents. My mom has opened the doors at her store to house this wonderful event. Again, that store is Cater to You Antiques and More, which is located at 2111 Fortney Street, Saginaw, Michigan 48601. And so we're going to have that event there on the grounds. And the fire trucks are going to be out there for the children. They'll be handing out hats and stickers and talking about fire safety.
Are these
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Chris. Are these all-day events?
It is. It's going to be from 11 to 5 on Friday and Saturday.
All right, good. Hang on. We'll talk more about this. I want to hear a little more about Synergy, too. When we return here on Focus after these notes, we'll be right back.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint. Have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof, Northeastern Paints City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
This is Dan Streeter of Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Many mothers in Mid-Michigan are struggling to make ends meet. They need a fresh start. A fresh start often begins with a hot meal, a restful night of sleep, an encouraging word for someone who cares. Rescue Ministries of Mid-Michigan. Homeless mothers get the help they need to ensure their families have a second chance to grow and thrive. Please go to r3monline.org to make a gift today. There's no place like home unless you don't have one.
Great time to get away. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit where you want to go with a vacation or staycation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's a faraway land or a little getaway close to home, a vacation or staycation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org, member NCUA.
Social Security. You've spent your entire working life paying into it. So don't you want to get the most out of it, squeezing it for all it's worth? Jason and Carl Kreiderman and the Investment Advisors can show you ways to do that with their free Social Security report. It's a great first step to learn how your Social Security in your overall retirement income plan, especially because the Social Security Administration isn't able to give advice. Get your free Social Security report from Great Lakes Investment Advisors at greatlakesoffers.com/security. That's greatlakesoffers.com/security. And for more on retirement planning, tune in to Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm offers insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisor Firm in the state of Michigan. Firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only effective sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on WSGW's Focus, talking to folks from Kitchen Kings. And on the phone, we have Gabriel Martinez, in the studio, Elise Watson and Christopher Watson. An event coming up later in the month. And one of the things I know, at least what I read, was you're trying to get a Synergy chapter in Michigan started. Tell us a little bit more, Gabriel, about Synergy and what it is and what it does.
Absolutely. So Synergy Global is a network community of business owners, professionals, and culture of servanthood about supporting others, investing in them, helping them grow their development, leadership development, mindset development. And so what we try to focus on is really changing the game when it comes to how we build business. We build it relationally. We build it on good. We're here to serve. We're here to give back. And we're really just looking to bring transformation to business and to the marketplace all around.
And let me ask, Chris, how did you get involved with this movement?
And so, well, Gabe and I, we have a great history together. We worked in the years before, and we've done many events from a ministry aspect as well as our marketplace on the business aspect. And so we've been able to share many stages together and many platforms together. And when he introduced this wonderful opportunity to me, right on it, because of our wonderful friendship. So.
And Elise, let's talk about your business a little bit.
Okay, Cater to You is an antique store, and also it's a one-stop shopping place. You can find antiques in there. You can also, first-time homeowner or a young person just moving out, going off to college or something like that. We have bedding, we have furniture, we have appliances, whatever individual needs to get their home set up, starting out.
How do we get from that to Kitchen Kings?
I worked in retail for over 25 years, and that was kind of my thing, was to be able to give back to the community where they can have quality merchandise at a very reasonable price. And so that's how we kind of ended up from Kitchen King. We do the cooking, we have the whole thing. So if you get a home, need something to eat, we can feed you. If you're looking to furnish your home, we can do that too. If you're looking for clothes, very nice things, and then you can find it at Cater to You and Antiques and More.
And again, you're located where?
We are located at 2111 14th Street in Saginaw, Michigan.
I assume you're proud of the kid sitting next to you?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm very proud of him. He's the one that he's the event planner for almost everything that we do, and I'm very proud of him. He's a very wonderful young man, and I must give kudos to my husband, Cecil, who's not here, and my other son, Mel, because it is a family
business.
Yep. We all work together.
And I want to bring up too, I'm just the co-owner of Kitchen Kings. I have a wonderful teammate who is also my cousin, who is Quincy, and he does a phenomenal job in the kitchen with helping us prepare the food as it goes out and stuff. So he will be there at the event as well. Kitchen Kings will be serving at this event so people can come out and try and patronize and get some of this wonderful food that you've been hearing about.
Talk just a little bit about that, Chris, because while you don't have a sit-down restaurant, you do provide takeout meals, right?
That's
so
correct.
I could call and order food from you.
That is correct. You can call in and order. When you at least call, if it's a big order, 5 or more orders, we like that you call a day ahead of time, or at least call us by 8:30 that morning, and that way we can get you, we get your order done in a timely manner and get it to you nice and hot for you, ready to eat. And so we do provide that takeout and delivery service. We are open Monday and Tuesday. We are open Thursday and Friday. Each day is a different menu. Mondays we provide pastas and salads. Tuesdays are our Taco Tuesdays. We do tacos, tostadas, and burritos. Thursday and Friday we do burgers. We have Phillies, chicken and steak. We have a catfish sandwich, which is absolutely amazing. We have the blooming onion, and we do so much on Thursdays and Fridays. So you can always check our Facebook out to find out what we'll be providing for each day. Every third Saturday and third Sunday, we have a special meal as well that we do. That you just have to tune into our social media to find out what we're doing on those third Saturdays.
Now,
is
there a place we can go for more information on the event?
Absolutely. You can visit the Facebook page. It's easier to find it through Kitchen Kings. If you go to Kitchen Kings site, you'll see that we've created an event page where you can go and you can see the flyer. You can see the people who are involved. I want to take this time right now to Wilson Ford Lincoln, who's one of our sponsors, who has been a great support of Kitchen Kings since we've gotten started. And so we thank them for seeing the vision and sponsoring this wonderful event that we bring into the area.
All right. Well, Gabriel, thank you for spending some time with us this morning and talking about Synergy. We wish you good luck with it.
My privilege. I appreciate you having me on this morning.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Christopher, Elise, thanks much. And I know they've had some of your food at the station. I'm working from home, so I'm on my own to get your food, and I'll have to do that.
Sounds really good.
All right.
And thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. And the event, give everybody the dates again of the event.
Yeah, the dates are going to be July the 23rd and the 24th. That's a Friday and Saturday. And it's going to be wonderful right at Kitchen Kings. I just wanted to say this too. The mayor is going to be there. And so we don't want to miss that. She's given us the opportunity to dunk her in a dunk tank. So every $100 that is raised for our fundraiser, she's going to allow us to dunk her in that dunk tank. So Mayor Brenda, we thank you for that. So guys, come out, bring your kids. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time for the whole family.
I know Brenda well. How many shots can I get at her? Thank you.
$10 a ball.
There we go. All right. Thanks for being with us, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. Have
You're
a wonderful
welcome.
day.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Elise and Christopher Watson, we thank them for being with us. We'll take our last break and be back to close out before we move on to the marketplace.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and are only available if the provider determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back.
Now get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/LOVE.
Let me tell you about the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. For parties big or small, if you're feeding a whole bunch of SOBs, then let the Lumberjack Restaurant take care. Watering ribs, finger-licking chicken, dangerously creamy mac and cheese. Everyone in the neighborhood will be begging for an invite. So get your axe on that fancy phone of yours and visit lumberjackcatering.com to see how you can upgrade your next event with Lumberjack Catering.
Imagine a place so inviting that it becomes your home. The Wellspring Senior Living Campus in Saginaw is designed for you to live life to the fullest. Our tailored approach to independent and assisted living fits your lifestyle and preferences. If you'd like the Wellspring family by your side, encourage loved ones every step of the way, schedule a tour at Wellspring Senior Living Campus today at SaginawSeniorLiving.com.
2020 was a challenging year, but things are looking up, including the stock market's performance. But will it last? Hi, I'm Ken Moraif, Senior Advisor at Retirement Planners of America. If you are 50 or older, call us today to schedule a free consultation to learn more about our Invest and Protect strategy that is designed to help mitigate the risk of the stock market. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free assessment. That's 800-375-1159.
Show on WSGW, brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
All right, we thank our guests from Kitchen Kings today. Time to move over to Baird & Company for our ticker tip, and here's Steve Anderson. Steve, good morning.
And good morning to you, sir.
Well, ending another week, and how are we ending it?
Well, first of all, it's hard to believe we got to the point where we're ending. And the markets are mixed. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Averages down by 38 points, putting it at 34,428. Volume is 269 million shares. The NASDAQ is ahead by 17, putting it at 14,037 on volume of 326 million shares.
And your ticker tip for this Friday.
Well, one of the things people really aim to do is take volatility out of the portfolio. And there's really two things that can, help you out a lot with that. One of them is diversification. The other one is time. Diversification is because it tells you they have different types of investments, different sectors, and, getting some help and putting a portfolio together like that can be done. The time part is a whole different deal, because modern portfolio theory is what you're using when you're trying to build a portfolio, but behavioral finance comes into play after that, and how people react to different market conditions and what is their driving force in investing. So make sure that you've got some guidance in both areas. Realize that knee-jerk reactions are often the wrong reactions. Something happening this morning, that might not be something that's going to infect your portfolio if it's the stuff you need in 20 years. So try to keep them separated, try to take a look at both of them, but don't go wild with your adjustments.
Well, it helps to have a little help, a buffer, if you will. How do you give them the help? How do they find you?
Well, if they were going to try to get a hold of us, you would call us at Baird and Company, where the telephone number is 790-5724, or you can find us on the web at rwbaird.com, and then look for the Saginaw branch.
All right, Steve, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
I will. You do the same.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird and Company with our ticker tip of the day. Time to head over to the farm desk with Terry Henney. It's next here on WSGW.
Kick off summer with this free community event, Concert for a Cause. Join singer Cherie Williams along with the Robert Lee and the Lefties and the Sheriff's Band. There will be food trucks and family games. Bring your lunch here and don't forget your friends. Thursday, June 17th from 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. in the Y Courtyard overlooking the Saginaw River. The YMCA of Saginaw, strengthening your community for 153 years.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor and uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter is finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm Dr. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. talk to a doctor right away, online or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Fly ball, right field. This one's deep. Going back, Haniger looking up, and it's gone! Number 10 for Jonathan Scope. Ties it up at 1 here in the first.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW. Now, the radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henney and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Mostly sunny and humid again. Good morning. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Humidity continues all around the area, but not quite as bad today as what it has been. 52% with a variable breeze under 5 miles per hour. 29.88 and steady is the barometric pressure. 83 degrees at the airport, 80 at Radio Center, 80 at Midland. Downtown Bay City is looking at 82 degrees. Quite a difference territory makes, not only in rainfall, again, very widely scattered, spotty type stuff. Back 40 in Richville, 0.6 of an inch of rain. You go a half a mile, 3/4 of a mile down the road, not even 1/10 of an inch. Frankenmuth area, about 7 miles to the south of where we are, picking up less than 1/10 of an inch. And you cross the Saginaw County line and head toward east side of Saginaw. Nothing as far as precipitation goes. So a nice shower. And hopefully there was a little bit of a shower where you were over the last 24 hours, because we really, as I keep saying it, we really do need it. Officially, central Michigan is in an extreme drought condition as of right now. If you've received some rain, you are blessed. The vast majority of the area has not received much of anything in the way of moisture, and it is exceptionally dry. Topsoil moisture right now, they're reflecting close to 68%, rated in poor to very poor as far as moisture goes. Subsoil moisture, a little bit less than that, but still they're talking at least 60% subsoil moisture, less than adequate and very poor when it comes to that. Now, I say a difference in territory, not only with precipitation, but temperatures. Get a load of this. Thunderstorm over the last hour in Alpena. It's currently 61 in Alpena. Ludington is at 78, so that's not quite so bad. Cadillac is at 82. Houghton Lake is at 80. Manastee's at 83. Pellston, 63. Rogers City, light rain, 55. And falling back into reality is all across the Upper Peninsula, with temperatures so far in the upper 50s to low 60s. They've got mostly cloudy skies on the eastern part of the UP. We have a front that is trying to drop down through the entire lower peninsula. It doesn't look as though it's going to happen. I think that front is going to stop tracking to the southwest and then gradually pull back up, because we have a low pressure system which is attached to that front, and there is a trailing cold front to that, which is currently over Minnesota, moving into Wisconsin here this afternoon. We're going to keep our eye on that, because that front will be at the western shore of Michigan tomorrow morning, and we'll see. There is going to be a pretty good chance of mostly cloudy skies to start our morning off on Saturday. And if there is going to be the chance of any precipitation, it does appear as though it'll be in the morning hours tomorrow morning. But as we go through the day, the temperatures are going to warm up again, and we'll be 82 for a high tomorrow, a low of 64 tomorrow night. Our projected high temperature is 88, and there are going to be 90s this afternoon in southern Michigan. No question about it. 82 for a high tomorrow, 85 for a high on Sunday. High pressure over Iowa is going to dominate our weather. So The low pressure system that'll be affecting our weather late tonight and early tomorrow morning will be cruising right along, following the border with Canada and the United States and dragging that front through as we go through the overnight hours and morning hours tomorrow morning. So our forecast, scattered showers around, again, humid, 88 for a high, 63 for a low tonight with partly cloudy skies. Sun will set this evening at 9:17, rise tomorrow morning at 5:55. You probably won't see the sunrise tomorrow morning. It'll be clouds, and there will be a chance of some shower activity in the morning hours, but it'll be tapering off rather rapidly as we go through the late morning tomorrow morning. Hopefully you do get a little bit of precipitation. But right now, the amount of moisture associated with this is not very large at all. But if we can get a quarter of an inch or a half inch anywhere, it's a welcome relief. Because the long-range outlook, and we're talking Sunday through at least Thursday of next week, we don't see any moisture in the forecast. We're looking at below average precipitation to take us all the way through the 24th of the month. Temperatures will be averaging above. We're going to have a little bit of a downturn in these temperatures. It looks like, I think Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to see temperatures 77, 78, 79 during the day, 52, 53 at night. But then toward the tail end of the work week next week, we'll start to warm back up. Record high in this state, 95, set back in 1933. The record low, 37, set in 1980. And a year ago today, 75 was our high, 55 was our low, and we had 1/10 of an inch of rain. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Cody Harris standing by. We'll take a look and see what's going on the markets at Star of the West. But before we do all of that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. If this year's spring planting did reveal some gaps in your operations productivity and efficiency in the field, now is the time to be stopping by Tri-County Equipment and hit the ground running next year. Don't wait. Their early order program lets you get ahead of those issues to maximize next year's yield. Check out the very latest crop care equipment and technology and then order it now. So get that John Deere machine built just the way you want it, and take advantage of preferred early order financing offers from John Deere Financial. Stop by any of the locations of Tri-County Equipment, because remember, when you're talking John Deere and Michigan's Thumb, as well as Saginaw, Reese, and Birch Run, you are talking Tri-County Equipment, working harder, doing more. Cody Harris, it's been a wild week again, and we had that report midweek. What's going on today?
Well, Terry, we're definitely getting a little bit of residual movement from the report yesterday. In addition to that weather you were talking about earlier, that's kind of what the market's focused on right now, and it's definitely pulling these markets down. Definitely got a big bearish look here heading into the weekend. The way the markets sit right now, let's see. We got cash wheat right now. That's down 1. 653 on the white, 618 on the red. Looking over at new crop wheat, that is also down 1. 653 on the white, 618 on the red. Looking over at cash corn, that is down 14 at 670. New crop corn is down 7 at 560. And looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are down 31 at 1503. And new crop soybeans are down 18 at 1377.
So after that report and what's transpired with the weather, is there any one particular thing that really jumps out at you that has played all sorts of havoc with the market this week?
Well, kind of like I said, there was a report going on yesterday. I guess what caught a lot of people off guard was that the WASD, or the USDA WASD report, reported that it increased Brazil's soybean production to a record large 137 million metric tons. And that is a lot higher than what the trade had expected, because that in turn increased the world ending stocks on all soybeans, moved it up by 1.5 million metric tons to 92.6 million metric tons. So that's really kind of what caught a little bit of these traders by surprise here yesterday. And you're definitely seeing that in the soybean market today. As we kind of move forward, they're looking at, a little better weather down there in South America, a little higher production of beans. That's definitely pushing this market down here right now, Terry. But other than that, it's definitely been focused on weather. And as far as the report's concerned, everything kind of fell status quo with what traders were expecting.
All right. Cody, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
That sounds good. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Cody Harris over at Star of the West. A little bit more as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me. Doug, what's going on now?
I don't know a thing.
Neither do I. Depending on what side of the fence you are, it's read 'em and weep today, huh?
Well, I saw crude oil hit a 2-year high yesterday, not today. So that was late in the day. Exxon decided to lock their union out of the refinery in Texas. Timing is everything, so they can do what they want with prices. We're dealing with that. So those are the two big news items I saw yesterday. But as far as everything else goes, we got 1.5% move down in gasoline today, and also the commodities. 2% on soybeans and 1% on corn, just about. So here's your numbers: July corn 6.85 1/4, down 13 3/4. December corn 6.10, down 6 1/2. July soybeans 15.12 1/2, down 31 1/2. November soybeans 14.40 3/4, down 18 3/4. Wheat's kind of steady. July wheat is 6.84, up 1/4 penny, and December wheat 6.97 1/4, unchanged. Crude oil 69.76, up 18 cents. Heating oil is 2.1140, down 3 cents. Gasoline 2.1822, down 3 cents. Natural gas 3.27 1/2, that's up 12 1/2 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you $1.2158 at the border. That's up 64 ticks. The yen is at 109.72, up 41 ticks. The euro's 121.02, down 67 ticks. The dollar's at 90.55, that's up 48 ticks. Gold's at 1875.50, down 18.70 an ounce. Silver's at 28.17, up 14 cents. Platinum's at 11.52.40, that's up $6.40.
Have a good weekend, Doug.
Thanks. Yep.
You betcha. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Market Report has been brought to you today by the folks at Schaefer and Beerline. If you're looking for a new Ram commercial truck or van, remember, Ram spring commercial truck season continues at Schaefer and Beerline, this area's Ram certified ag dealer. Find out more from a dealer where family and service sells cars. That's Schaefer and Beerline. Also by the folks at Ed Raymond & Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Carhartts, Red Wing shoes and boots, the Stormy Cromer accessories, and more. You got it all at Ed Raymond & Sons. Celebrating more than 100 years at 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. They are open 7 days. And incidentally, they're expanding their store as well. Same location, just moving a few more storefronts into. So check them out today. Ed Raymond & Sons in downtown Chesaning. Hey, do you know why a farmer won an award? Well, it's because he was outstanding in his field. Yeah. Speaking of farmers winning awards, the Nature Conservancy is going to recognize the extraordinary achievements of our Saginaw Valley farmers. Nominations are now open in several categories. If you care about water quality and soil health, well, then we're talking to you. Nominate a farmer by July the 1st at www.soilsavings.com. Along with me, Mark Seaman with the Michigan Soybean Association. Mark, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Terry. I'm doing good.
I got to ask you all sorts of questions about soybeans, but let's keep it pure and simple. What are our beans looking like right now, given the dry conditions?
Yeah, really variable, Terry, as you talked about earlier with the rainfall that we've had throughout this spring. But generally, I would say soybeans went into the ground in good planting conditions, and majority got a good start. So now some of them are struggling a little bit with being a little bit dry. But I would say we're off to a pretty good start. And the good thing about soybeans is that we know that they can handle some stress, especially early in the season. They don't seem to be like some other crops where they keep this in mind and remember when they get to their reproductive stages. They kind of forget about these early season issues. So hopefully if we do have some stress now, that won't follow through with yield later.
I know soybeans traditionally over the years have always responded well to dry weather. I don't know how the hybrids do now, but I'm getting a funny feeling that they still have that gene in them where they can strive and thrive in dry weather with higher humidities.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Terry, that we do have some really good genetics these days that we're able to withstand some stresses that maybe just a few years ago or a few generations back in breeding, this crop would be in a lot tougher condition. But we are able to get through some pretty tough times and come out with some good yields, especially if later in the season, that month of August traditionally is really critical to soybeans. We can have smaller plants if we have limited moisture early in the season. That doesn't really seem to affect too much as long as we get good conditions later in the season.
Got a funny feeling you're going to be asked a question or two about double cropping, especially with the wheat potentially coming off a little bit quicker this year. Give me a quick thought. What's your thought right now?
Yeah, really good point. With pretty strong soybean prices and maybe some early soybean harvest, that could set us up for potential double cropping. So if a grower is going to be considering doing that, we just have a couple suggestions, and one of those is to try to harvest that wheat a little bit higher than they maybe normally would, maybe 8 to 10 inches of stubble left. And what that will do is provide a little shading that will encourage those plants to grow a little taller and then pot a little bit higher for harvest later. When they're selecting maturity for those soybeans that they're going to plant into the wheat stubble, we would suggest choosing 1/2 to 1 full maturity group shorter or earlier maturing than they normally would with a normal planting date. We also suggest a little bit higher populations because we expect these plants to be a little smaller, a little shorter than normal, and maybe close up that row spacing a little bit if there's an option to go to 15 or 7.5 inch rows. So those are some pretty practical pointers if a grower chooses to do that.
Good points. Mark, we'll talk again soon, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you, Terry.
You betcha. Mark Seaman with the soybean folks here in Michigan.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota equipment, like versatile #1 selling Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details. Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our reliable #1 selling tractors are designed for easy operation and feature all the performance-matched attachments needed to tackle any job. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for 84 months plus save up to $1,200 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com/offers for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Carroll exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
Had a chance yesterday to talk to Chuck Cervinsky over at Maple Hill Nursery. Chuck, let's follow up a little bit more on this hot summer weather and the effects of it on our shrubs and some of our trees, even the established trees out there.
Yeah, it's really started to put some stress on not only newly planted landscape plants and lawns, in the last 10 to 12 months, but also in the last 2 to 3 years. And, we don't really have any control over the weather, but there's things we can do to help minimize plant damage and maintain good vigor in plantings right now. It's really imperative that we get out and water trees and shrubs on a regular basis. The only rainfall that we're seeing right now, like you said yesterday, is what comes out of the end of a hose. And right now, a good rule of thumb is to water at least every other day and to keep new plants moist, especially. Lawn sprinklers are great, but they're not adequate for larger trees and shrubs. They just don't get down, the 10 or 12 inches to the bottom of a root system of a shrub that it needs to. A trickle system is pretty effective if you have that, and that ensures that a plant will receive enough moisture. But still, watering by hand right now is the most effective way.
And again, if somebody does want to really try to keep their lawn somewhat similar to green, the rule of thumb is what, about an inch of water per week?
Yeah, it needs approximately an inch of water a week. It's in order for it to maintain some kind of health when we get this real hot weather. And it's best to water early in the morning to avoid evaporation. And it will also ensure that the grass dries off quickly during the day, because you don't want to encourage diseases.
All right. Chuck, for more information, we can get a hold of you. How do we do that?
Give us a call at 989-835-4708. Visit our website, www.maplehillmidland.com.
Chuck Cervinsky with Maple Hill Nursery.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Thumb Bank and Trust, serving the needs of local farmers for well over 125 years. 2 locations in Bay City, also Cass City, Caseville, Pigeon, and Bad Axe. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studio.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Biden and leaders of the world's top democracies confronting everything from COVID-19 to the rising threats from around the globe.
I'm Vicki Barker in London.
There you go.